Welcome one, welcome all. This is Neil Solano speaking, and today we're going to be going over something that you probably already know, but you never knew what it was called, which is called inequalities. So what is this term? What is inequalities? It is this. Bring it down. Boom. Well, my screen just turned black. What just happened? Okay, there it goes. Anyways, these are inequalities, right? The famous greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. What exactly is this? What do you have to know about it? Let me draw you something that I think you guys will know for a long time coming. This is the sign of a greater than, right? Why though? Well, because if you ever have a number here, let's say, you know what, I'm not even going to use numbers. I'm going to use imaginary numbers like A, and on the opposite side you have B. It means A is greater than B, because obviously this side has the greater opening. A is greater than B. If it was the opposite, it means less than, as in A, whatever the number is smaller, because that's a little small pointy section, right, than whatever the number is on the other side, which is B, an imaginary number, right? What about whenever they have the signs, the little line underneath? Well, it means this imaginary number, whatever it may be, it could equal to B as well. For example, let me stop using these imaginary numbers so that you guys stop being confused. Let's say 4 is less than or equal to X. You have to ask yourself, what is X? Well, X could be a 4 or up. It could be a 4, a 5, or 6, or 7, or whatever, right? Because given this inequality statement, 4 is less than or equal to X. Am I right? So X could be a 4 or greater, but it can't be less than 4, because that would not be true given this statement, because the statement is saying 4 is less than or equal to X. Alright? That's why it's good to memorize this. Take a mental picture of this, you guys, and remember its terms. That means greater than. That means less than. That also means greater than, but also means or it could be equal to. And the same thing with that, but with less than or equal to. Always have that in your head. Now, if it gets confusing, you guys, this is what's going to help you out. What I'm about to do right now, which is my favorite thing on earth. Let's use the example of 4 again, right? Given this expression, let's say you had to decide what this symbol was. Let's say you forgot this little picture here, and you forgot exactly what this sign meant. Use this trick that I'm about to teach you. Draw a couple eyes, draw a couple teeth, and imagine this as an alligator. That is right, you guys. I'm not stupid here, alright? Don't think I'm crazy. This is actually going to help you. Imagining the sign as the mouth opening of an alligator. An alligator is always going to open its mouth to eat the bigger number. It's never going to go for the smaller quantity of numbers. No, it's always going to open its mouth for the bigger number. Use that to your advantage, and trust me, it's going to help you guys out. What's greater? What's greater? Well, you have to determine that through the sign. Oh, you forgot the little picture I posted in the first slide? You forgot whether this sign means greater than or equal to? Just remember the alligator. This alligator is opening its mouth always to the bigger number. Am I right? Draw the eyes. Draw the teeth. Make it an alligator. It's opening mouth always to the bigger number. That's how you will know what these signs are. So you should never forget it by now, alright? Going on to the bigger picture, you guys. What is the point of inequalities? What's the type of questions that the GED is going to throw at you? Well, this is the beauty, you guys. This is the beauty. Inequalities are virtually the same as equations. So this is the type of problem they might throw at you. Alright? And they say, find x from the given inequality, right? All you have to think of, you guys, is instead of this inequality sign, substitute it as an equal sign. And as you already know from my last two videos, you should already be able to solve this. You should already find x, right? So if you ever imagine an inequality problem as an equation problem, you could easily solve it. Because what do you got to do? Well, the same thing. You want to have all numbers on one side, which creates 3x less than 8 minus 2, which ends up being 6, right? You leave x by itself, divide by 3, divide by 3. X equals 3. Oops, I said equals. You see how even I get confused. All it is x is less than 3, right? That's your answer. Well, x less than 3. It's virtually the same as equations. This sign is virtually the same as an equal sign. Just do the problem as if you're doing equations. Just substitute this inequality symbol for an equal sign. Do the rest as an equation, and you will end up getting your inequality answer. Now, what you're probably asking yourself, wow, Neil, that's so easy, right? What's the trick? There is only one trick, you guys. Only one trick with inequalities. There is only one difference between inequalities and equations, which is this right here. Let me put in another problem. Alright, so you have this problem, right? It's kind of messy, but still. Let me make this a little bit more simpler so you guys don't get confused. It's the greater than or equal to symbol, right? What I just taught you was treat this as an equation, right? Treat this sign as an equal sign, and treat this whole problem as an equation and solve for n, right? You already know how to do that. Same thing as equations. Divide that and simplify each side. Is there anything that could be simplified with this 2n on this side? No. Is there any numbers? Yes, those are those two. So I'm going to simplify all of that and these two. What it ends up being is the new problem looks like negative 5 plus 5. All it does is equal 0. You haven't seen that, I bet, yet. But pretty simple. 0 just becomes, it just disappears. Pretty simple. You drop the rest. Is there anything to do on this side? Yes, 3 plus 5. Obviously, it equals 8. So now the new problem looks like this. And then 8, right? Now what do? Well, obviously, you want to leave n by itself, so you divide by negative 2. Negative 2. All right. This is the only difference, you guys. This is literally the only difference between inequalities and equations, which is what I'm about to explain right now. All right. Previously, given your equation experience, what you would end up getting here would be n greater than or equal to, what's 8 divided by 2? Negative 4. You would think that would be your final problem. The thing is, no. The only trick with the inequality is this right here. Whenever you divide by a -2, it gets thrown on the opposite side, right? Whenever you want to get rid of the term to leave n by itself or x by itself or whatever, and in order to do that, you have to divide by a negative number. The only thing you got to remember is that when you do that, and it gets thrown over here, right, and you solve that, the only you got to do is this. Flip the sign. That's the only trick. That is, without a doubt, the only trick that you have to have in your head between inequalities versus equations is that whenever you divide by a negative number, the symbol flips. As you see in the previous example, when we divided by a +3, the symbol stayed the same. The symbol stayed the same and ended up being x less than 3, right? It stayed the same because we divided by a positive number. Here, when we divided by a negative number, and it got flipped over there, the symbols has to be flipped. That's it. That's final. No more tricks. Pretty simple. Almost virtually the same as equations. You just have to remember that little trick at the end. That's all. So, that being said, and with my design of the alligator being said, you guys can do the worksheet that's in the description box below. So please go and enjoy. This is somewhat the same as equations, so refresh your mind on the equations and learn the new trick of inequality. And yeah, see you on the other side. Peace.